So ENS and ESI, they stand for early neurological stimulation and early scent introduction. So this always starts on day 3 of the puppy's lives. It's basically just you hold them in certain positions and you're just getting them used to different motions and just how it feels, like their equilibrium, as well as like stimulation in their paw pads, even touching like a cool surface. We use a Q-tip and we tickle it between their paw pads, and then we put them in a cold dish that usually stays in our freezer, and then we pull it out when it's time for ENS. ENS and ESI lasts for 16 days. So those 16 days, we do ENS, then we move on to ESI, the early scent introduction. Like today, day 1, we're doing cow. So we hold this up to their nose. They can have a positive reaction, negative reaction, and neutral reaction. So a positive reaction would be like you see and hear them sniff. Sometimes they'll lick it. Sometimes they'll open their mouths at it. Sometimes they'll move towards it more, or even they'll try and eat it sometimes. It's funny when they do that. A neutral response is they just kind of like sit there, no change. Negative responses, they literally move their head away. They just don't want anything to do with it. It's exposing them to all kinds of different smells at a very young age. Because I mean, there's only so much that they can smell in this area. So I mean, within, you know, a few minutes or so, they could smell everything in this room pretty much. Yeah, because dogs know, even at this early age, like their nose is really good, their sense of smell. So introducing them to those types of smells, like whenever they go out into the outside world, not that I'm in the mind of a dog, but they'd be like, oh, I've smelled that before. I was 3 days old. No, I can't. But still, so like if you introduce them, I guess in a sense, like Biscuit, if I introduced her to my horse, she would smell it, but she would put 2 and 2 together like, oh, the smell looks like this. I've smelled that before, so maybe I won't be as scared of it, you know? So there's certain benefits to the early scent introduction. The first move is like we put their head in between our fingers and we support their bottom with this hand, hold them up. Then it lasts for about 4 seconds, each movement. Then I take this hand and I put it behind them. Then I go upside down completely for 4 seconds. Then I bring them back up and they're on their back and I cup them in my hand and they just kind of just sit there and lay there and I rub on them and everything. And then I'll put them in the dish, then I'll do the Q-tip, and then I'll do the scent and I put them back. So that's a pretty good rundown of like the steps that we take to do ENS and ESI. So one of the things with these guys, even at this early age, when a puppy is sleeping and they start doing their twitching, it's actually nothing to be concerned about because it actually means that their mind is healthy and active. That's a good thing you want to see in your puppies as well. Another thing you want to look out for in puppies even this young is their shoulders being wide. It can be an early indication that they're going to be a swimmer. The swimmer term has nothing to do with being a good swimming dog, I guess I should say, because this has a whole different meaning. It just means that kind of later on, and even now, like we can kind of hold his shoulders together. And sometimes it's easier to do like this, and you can kind of put him like this and kind of massage right in here. Whenever you catch it like this, you can swaddle them, massage them. It's nothing that you can't fix or anything like that.